What kind of audience do you play to? I mean, what do you, who do you think is listening when you perform your music, and what do you try to tell them? Or do you try to tell them anything?
You mean when I'm singing?
Yeah.
While I'm singing?
Yes.
What do I tell them?
I mean, who do you think is listening to your music? Describe your audience.
Well, maybe some guys from television or something. I don't know.
Jackson, I understand you maintain a certain discipline within the group and all its activities. I wonder if you would describe for us what those disciplines are, what rules they're to follow.
Well, the rules that was made by the family and I was mostly to make each boy do his own chores around the house. We'd have each man help out doing the...
Let's start that over because we're going to have the phone in the back.
Mostly do engagements when they have more time. But most of the time they're in school. We have a few. You have to have a few because that's the only time you can hold a group together by rules, and they must be followed to the fullest extent.
What are those rules?
Well,
and what other?
Well, another rule is to, like most kids would like to run around and slip off or something like that during while they're out on the road, and we made it a rule that they shouldn't go anywhere without maybe a bodyguard or something like that, which we have. And so it's a good idea.
What about education?
Education is fine. My boys would like to finish their education to the fullest. And right now they're going to private school so they can deal in this sort as well as show business too.
How do you combine the two, the requirements of going to school with show business?
Well, the right people, such as Motown Recording Studios, and Motown people, the Motown family behind them, it's a wonderful thing. You can't go wrong.
Excuse me.
Okay, you want to tell me about who can tell me something about Andrew Jackson?
Huh?
Tell me something about Andrew Jackson. Who was he?
He was our 7th president. 17.
What?
17. 7.
Do you know anything about him as a person?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I forgot what year was he born in?
17 something. I've forgotten too. 17. Oh, the end of 1700 and something. And he was governor in at about 1720.
Was that
1827 or somewhere around there. Don't put that in because the teacher has to be accurate and I'm not.
Was that his family that was in the grave with him?
Well, the family wasn't in the grave with him, but he and his wife were buried side by side there.
Rachel Jackson, his wife, she lived across the street before he married her and took her land too. That's how you got all that land.
Well, I read to you about their story. She was married before, wasn't she?
When she was Donald's, she was bad. She played. That's what the book said.
Yeah, I know,
She
but they
cheated.
didn't say that it was proven.
But that's what that meant. Well, if they said it, it was true.
Gossip. There was gossip even in those days. I think we did enough.
That's awesome. Come to the rescue.
Listen to this now. No wonder they say the California schools are bad. But they aren't really.
We couldn't tell that, but it's like we try to make it you know, common and plain as possible. You know, not too much, and not, you know, simple as possible.
What? How do you do that? Explain for all those people who don't know.
Something like bubblegum soul. It's not too much soul, and but like, it's more like a soul and pop thing. It's put together.
Michael, who did you start listening to get your kind of singing style?
James Brown. James Brown and I say James Brown and Sammy Davis Jr. because I like the kind of things they do, like fast music.
What did you borrow from them?
Well, I do most of his dancing on stage, and I just like the way Sammy sings.
Did they teach you anything when you listened to their music?
No, I just watch him on television.
What do you describe the performance that you put on?
What I do?
Yeah.
Well, most of my songs are fast.
I mean, what do you put into it?
Well, whatever I sing, that's what I really mean. Like I'm singing a song. I don't sing it if I don't mean it.
How would you say the audience reacts in most cases?
How do they react?
Yeah.
Like last night.
They acted wild. But they happy to see us, and we happy to see most of our fans in Nashville.
How did you first form this musical group?
Where?
How? Where? What? Who put it down? How did you get into the music?
You know?
First, before it was the Jackson 5, it was me, Jackie, and Tremaine, and we sang around the house all the time, like we didn't have nothing to do. Then we added Michael, then Marlon picked up on it, and my father kept us rehearsing, and we knew someday that, you know, we'd be discovered. And then Diana Ross picked up on us, and we're here where we are now.
You knew someday you would be discovered.
Because we worked very hard. We practiced 5 hours a day.
Where did you perform?
Where did we perform?
Yeah.
Before we became professional. We did little things for the mayor and a lot of benefit shows. And sometimes we'll do talent shows at the schools. New York, at the Apollo Theater a lot in New York.
No, I mean before you got professional.
Right.
You were there before you were pros? How did you get there?
Like the booking agency. Father got me with the booking agency, and they called us a lot of shows and stuff in New
Who
York.
told them about it?
Well, they heard that we were doing, wasn't tours, but we were like traveling in this van,
Doing about
right,
4 shows a night.
nightclubs too.
So how long have you been together?
Chet might want you to pretend too. Chet. No, he's out of school.
No, sit down. Now, I would like to show you all the people on TV. One of my people like me.
Where's your name?
I showed it to the Playboy magazine.
Why could they tell me you?
You don't be doing that. You feeling really good, friends? We will now talk about what you fellas would like to do and don't do. Look at this. They They made a piece plant.
You ready to play for real?
Miss
You want
Byrne?
to play now?
Huh? Sure, I'll play. You have a game at
Miss
7?
Byrne?
John
Right
has
here.
one.
Chest, hit you in your chest.
Okay. Who else?
You.
Yeah.
No, but I know how to
So
play.
y'all a really great picture.
Just reviewing. That's all.
Chess game. Jim Maybe. They over recover day. Jimmy Cash. Jim Young. Joe Copley. Tom Jones.
thing right here.
Otis Redding. Herb Alpert. His name is Herb Alpert. This is a good book.
Can't understand it.
After you.
What?
Can I sit? May I sit?
Anything that you want.
This fine.
This scares me to death, you know, your voice don't seem to mind it. Not look, is it?
That's good.
Well, I know, but you
It's
have,
Esquire.
oh, that's right, I had a few new people in the You better think hard about yesterday, because that's what you're gonna talk about.
Okay.
Not a movie magazine.
But what?
Heaven's sakes. I haven't seen anything that looks important.
You can take that.
I'll take
Playboy,
the Black
that would
Star.
be it.
The Mirror.
And then you can take that. Don't you remember the children over the street? Oh, you do too. You went over it so carefully, remember I sent you? Well, now, if you don't look at me and you don't talk to me, then how am I going to relate to you? Tell me something about what you saw yesterday.
Well, we saw Alvin C. York statue.
Yes, and what else? Who was
We
that?
went
with
take
you?
a look at this book. Alvin C. York?
Somebody told you about it, it's not in that book.
I know it's not in the book. He was in the army. So captain. Was
Sergeant.
sergeant.
What else did you see?
Went to Andrews Jackson's house.
What did you think of that? The house. Would you like to live there?
No toilets.
I like that little meat house he had.
Smokehouse.
The
Yeah,
smokehouse.
smokehouse.
How did you like the kitchen? You think you could eat any food that came out of that kitchen as it stands today?
No.
I don't think so. But what do you think of the size of the kitchen in comparison to the size of the house?
It's too little. The kitchen was sort of small.
He had.
What did he have? Right there on his desk, don't you remember?
Oh yeah, he had the golden telephone.